This is how a YouTube gardening channel literally changed my life. I'm gonna be pretty vulnerable in this video, and it's not gonna be like a crazy edited one. It's gonna be pretty surface level, but it's gonna give you the meat and potatoes for how YouTube changed my life and how I think you should go about starting a YouTube channel about gardening and why you absolutely should. Like, hands down, why you should do it. So let's get into it. YouTube has helped me pay off tons of debt. It has helped me get a backbone, and it has also helped me be more comfortable in my own skin. So I'm a redhead, which is strike one. I'm a big redhead, strike two. Your girl's like, I'm like 5'8" and I'm not a skinny mini by any stretch of the imagination. You combine that with the fact that I'm nerdy, and just to put it in perspective, these glasses they're sitting beside me all the time because this is what I actually look like in public all the time. I don't wear them because they have like this awkward glare when I film, but I can't actually see your wonderful faces when I film. I'm blind. I'm completely blind. I mean, and we'll get into this here in a little bit, but you know, a lot of my family died last year, and the first time in my life that something horrible has happened like that, and I've been able to power through with very little to no, massive mental health issues. And I honest to goodness, I contribute that all entirely to this channel, more so you guys than the channel itself, but just the escape of being able to edit and, do scripting and that sort of stuff. It always kept the train going forward, which is just huge. So you'd be shocked to know this, but I started this channel technically back in 2016. So I used it as a place to escape. I was in a horribly abusive relationship back in the day. Obviously, I still had my background in soil and plant science, but I didn't have any subscribers. I didn't have anyone interacting with my videos. The editing was horrible, and I actually left some of those videos up. And I left the videos up so that people can go look at them, make fun of them, and say, okay, you start from somewhere. I don't want you to compare your day one to someone's day 1000. So on top of being in an abusive relationship, my mom also suffered with addictions, and I am a quiet person in regards to I'm not quiet when we're together. I'm a little bit rowdy, actually. I'm loud. That's actually another tick on the box of just horrible things that people usually don't like. But my mom suffered from addictions. I was in an abusive relationship, and I am a quiet person. I'm not the person that goes and tells people like, oh, I need help, or oh, I'm suffering with mental health, or oh, it's not me. So none of my friends really knew I was going through this. I was alone the entire time when I initially started this channel. So I wasn't in a great headspace at the time, and I did get some interaction, but the internet trolls were just a little bit too much for me. So I completely backed off of YouTube, left the space in its entirety as a creator, and I didn't revisit it until 2020. Now, 2020, we all know what happened then. And I still kept my job because I was technically considered like a vital industry. Growing food for people is vital. And so because of that, I never had to, quit my job. However, a lot of other stuff shut down, and so it was just slow. I'm a very community driven person. I sing in choirs. I used to play in, musical bands. I play flute and piccolo and all that sort of stuff, community associations, you name it, I was in it. So I had a lot of free time on my hands in 2020. So in 2020, when I lost my ability to play my music and sing and be creative, I was lost. I needed something. And it wasn't until I had a lot of people getting into gardening and getting into plants, and a lot of the geek crew, you could probably comment down below when you got into gardening, and I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of you said that it was in 2020 because there was a huge influx of gardeners at the time. And a lot of my friends suddenly became interested in gardening, interested in houseplants. And I was the person that everyone leaned on for info because people had seen my houses. Houses. I don't have multiple. I have one. I obviously had you know, houseplants. I had a garden. My garden has always existed. It's not like something I just decided to do to make money off of. I've always been a plant person. Obviously, I did a whole friggin' degree in it. It's obsessed. But people would lean on me. And I had one friend who's a very entrepreneur driven woman, and I'll put her Instagram here because she knows her stuff. There's other things, nothing to do with gardening. And she said, you know, that YouTube channel you had in 2016, I really think you should start posting that again, because what you say and how you articulate it to people is so useful and so easy to digest. And I've had nothing but good results come from any of the tips and tricks you've given me. So go start the YouTube. And I did. So to be totally honest with you guys, I wasn't really interested in going back into the plant space. Part of what I found on the YouTube side of things was that it was kind of like negative. I don't know. And still sometimes I get that vibe where people are, in my opinion, much too serious about it. They don't have fun with it, and it's supposed to be a hobby. And it wasn't a place to escape for me, in my opinion. Now, I obviously ended up going into the plant world, but I debated so many other channel ideas to release that creative self. I debated, you know, ghost stories. I debated, you know, a book YouTube, you name it. I thought I gotta do something that's not plant related, but ultimately I did choose plants. And you know what? I'm so happy I did, because I think the influx of people in 2020, the new people who didn't have, you know, weren't dogmatic yet about how to garden and that sort of thing, they were open. They were open to hearing and receiving. And because of that, I think that is what propelled this entire channel. It is ultimately you guys who propelled this channel into the direction it went into. So I obviously did go into the gardening space, in the houseplant space, and my videos were horrific. I probably play some B-roll as we speak, because you can make fun of me. It's totally fine. So when I initially started, I actually used a cell phone, and it was a cell phone that was already like 2-3 years old, and a lavalier mic that I bought off Amazon for like $20. And to be honest, I still film on my cell phone sometimes, and I've just gotten better at like positioning the camera and taking the footage and that sort of thing. It has nothing to do with the camera that I use. I use my cell phone, and I used my cell phone, you guys, for like 2.5 years. I literally just very recently bought a camera and a proper microphone. So it took me a while to bite the bullet on that one. All the apps I used were free apps. I didn't pay a single cent for that. And yeah, I did all this. I did all this until the fall, literally till November, Black Friday, because I specifically remember looking for Black Friday deals for my camera and my mic. And what else did I get? No, it was just my camera and my, it was just my camera and my mic, and I would airdrop my videos to my phone, and I would still edit on my phone. That's what it was. So I remember very specifically buying my camera and my mic in 2022, the end of 2022 going into 2023. So the only reason I waited that long, and you probably wouldn't have to wait that long, was because the abusive relationship I was in back in like 2016, it had ended, I think around like 2018-ish, and I was left with a horrific amount of debt. So that individual had left me with a home in foreclosure because he wasn't paying the mortgage. He wasn't paying everything you can imagine, property taxes, utilities, like cell phone bills, you name it, he wasn't paying it. And I was obviously transferring him money and thinking it was getting paid. So I was in a horrific amount of debt, and I was dead set on making sure I was going to get myself out of that situation. And so it took me until 2021, 2022 to actually pay that all off. And that is why I waited. Only because of that. Because I told myself, if I can make enough money with YouTube, I'm going to buy myself the proper setup, and then I'm going to put everything into this. So that is why I waited so long. You probably don't have to wait that long. That's how long I waited. So this is when things really started to take off, was kind of like last year-ish. I'm obsessive. I'm an obsessive person, and that is how I am. That is my personality, and I poured every spare moment into this channel. You can ask all my friends and family. I would miss suppers, I would miss events, everything, just to make sure I got videos out for you guys. I poured time and effort into researching. I poured time and effort into figuring out how to edit. I poured time and effort into figuring out how to use a camera. And by no means am I good or, spectacular at any of it yet, obviously. But I'm always trying to learn how to do better. So when I initially started, my videos were junk, obviously, and I told no one about it. I didn't tell friends, I didn't tell family, I told nobody that this channel existed, and I completely let it propel itself based on YouTube and you guys, the geek crew, moving it forward. It wasn't until it started to gain some traction where I was like, oh, hey guys, listen, I got a YouTube channel. Because I was embarrassed. And I think that's pretty normal. Someone that has an education in plant and soil science filming on a camera is a faux pas. There's a faux pas for people, parents, grandparents and stuff to hear that. It was difficult. I mean, it's not an easy thing to say because a lot of people don't see this as like a career or like an actual choice. They think like, oh, just, lazy people do that. But anyways, I was hesitant to tell anyone anything because I'm always that person. I'm the oldest daughter and I'm like the go-getter type. So I never really told anyone about it until it really did begin to take off. So 2023, last year, my channel really began to take off like wildfire. And I'm sure many of you had noticed that as well. And I ended up with positive comments. I ended up with negative comments. And the entire time I was kind of battling, like, do I look at the comment section? Do I not look at the comment section? Because for every, and this is just how it works, because that's what our brains do. For every, 500 positive comments, that one negative one is enough to just completely derail you and be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to look at the comments. So I harnessed my past trauma, if you will, of having red hair, being nerdy, overweight, and everything else awkward about me, because that is what a lot of people picked on. And to be honest, you guys, if you're a hater still watching this, you gotta find something like more creative than that, because you're talking to someone who's been nerdy, a redhead, and bigger her entire life. So this is stuff I've heard for like 30 odd years. It wasn't until they started like actually coming after my intelligence, because I got bugged all the time for when I was younger for being nerdy. I'm the nerd, I'm the honor roll student, I'm this. So that, I was like, whatever, that's like old. That's old news. But it wasn't until they're like, you are dumb, you are an idiot, you don't have an actual degree, that sort of thing. That's when I was like, oh wait, this is like harm, that I don't like this anymore. So I actually, in 2023, I was in such a bad mental space because my mom had passed away. Well, my mom was very sick for 2022 going into 2023, then half of 2023. My grandma passed away, and then my other grandma passed away. One grandma was like my mom, because my mom obviously suffered from addictions. And then to top it all off, I was diagnosed with infertility, and my sister was diagnosed with MS. So as you can imagine, going through that combined with the internet bullying, I guess you could say, is a lot for me. But, and this is a big but, probably the same size as my behind, big. You guys, the geek crew. Oh God. Your guys' excitement and just genuine love and community in the comment section and even on Instagram and Facebook was so beautiful. And despite going through a horrible 2023, you guys, honest to goodness, was what got me through one of the hardest years in my entire life. If YouTube tomorrow said, listen, we're not monetizing anything. You're getting paid $0 from here on out. Good luck. I'd be like, okay, whatever, that sucks. Get on with life. If YouTube said we're shutting down the platform and you're going to lose everyone on your channel, I'd be heartbroken. I would be crying worse than I am now, because you guys, honest to goodness, and I can't say this with, there's nothing I could say to even remotely say how much I appreciate you guys. Like, there's nothing I could give you, or any, like, I don't even know how to express my love for you guys. It's like, I'm dead serious. But you guys were a place where I could escape, so I could film, and I could be happy, and I could edit, and I could post, and I could interact with you guys. And you guys are truly my friends. Besides the haters. I mean, the haters, you're my friends too. But, you guys did notice, as of recently, I've got a bit more spunk. And that honestly has to do with the fact that I'm kind of over the hump of just 2023. And this is me. I am a loud, obnoxious, nerdy redhead that's incredibly goofy and horrifically awkward, and that is what I am off camera, and apparently on camera now as well. And you guys have made me so comfortable in public speaking, in Facebook, on YouTube, just in general. I feel so comfortable with you guys that I can act myself, and I truly appreciate that from you guys, because I, even in my personal life, was so scared of being too loud, too nerdy. But you guys you've given me the confidence to be able to go out into the world and just really, truly be myself. And if I can be myself in front of 100,000 people, I can be myself around like the handful of individuals that I have to interact with in a day, because I'm not interacting with that many. To celebrate, despite the fact that this video was kind of sad, to celebrate you guys and my thanks for you, I have hired an artist, and this gentleman is a Geek Crew. He's an actual Geek Crew individual. I'll put his Instagram down below. Fantastic artist. He made you guys a dedicated image just for you. It's not like the classic Gardening in Canada logo. It looks like this. There's black, there's white, or yeah, there's black and white, there's full color, and like muted color, like not as much color. I don't know. It's kind of like his stages of actually drawing it out and making it. But there's a lot of meaning actually in that photo. And I'm going to put it on ball caps, my classic unisex baseball tees, because again, your girl's plus sized, so she needs something nice and loose and comfy. Tank tops, t-shirts, bunny hugs, all of it. Like, there's all of it. All of them are color right now. If you guys are into black and white, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make a whole bunch of black and white ones as well. But I made it for you guys. That's truly why it's there. If you want other products with it on, let me know what product you want it on. I probably can make it happen. And the meaning behind that image is huge. So, I'm not going to cry again. So, there's a butterfly, and the butterfly is blue. And my mom's favorite color was blue, and her garden was decorated in butterflies. You know, some people do like gnomes or mushrooms. My mom was like butterflies. That is the garden decor you always use. So that's the meaning of that one. The begonia leaves are for my grandma, because my grandma, she loved begonias. It's kind of funny because I hate begonias and my sister hates begonias, but we're actually going to Floral Acres because they got like Toonie Tuesday or whatever, and we're buying begonias because of my grandma. We're like, we got to get at least one begonia this year each. So we're actually getting begonias to celebrate her, because that was her absolute favorite. The Geek Crew member, the artist who designed this, he intuitively picked phosphate as like the molecule in the ball. And I find it so funny because it's the root nutrient. So it's actually the nutrient that helps with roots and helps you kind of, the plants withstand transplant shock and that sort of thing. And it's so fitting. It's so fitting to the story of this channel. And then of course it has plants and it has the science side. It's inside of a beaker. Anyways, there's a ton of meaning behind that. So in my head, Butterfly's mom, begonia leaves her grandma, and you guys are kind of the plug on top. The cherry, if you will. The roots, the individuals who actually helped me enormously. So most of your YouTube journeys are not going to be this traumatic. Thank you. Thank you for 100,000. I love all of you. Truly. I can't say that without crying. You can ask anyone in my personal life, work even. I talk about you guys all the time. Like literally all the time. I call you the geek crew. I even reference some of you very specifically. That's how important you are to me. I hold the opportunity that you have given me so close to my heart. And everything I do, I just always think to myself, I hope I don't let these people down. And honestly, I don't think I could, because you guys would never think I'm wrong, which is, don't do that. I could be wrong sometimes, but I'm gonna leave it at that. If you guys want to grab the stuff down below, please do. I put the prices as low as I could because the company who does the prints or whatever, they want to cover their costs, so I put it as low as I can. I'm gonna try to put a discount on top of that to see if it's possible. If it's not, I don't know if it is gonna be or not. Fingers crossed it is. But thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me be vulnerable. The internet's a scary place, so I'm kind of scared of the comments section after this one, but that's okay. That's okay. It's mostly for the geek crew. And if you're not part of the geek crew, and you're somehow, for the love of God, still watching this video, you're probably going to want to hit subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's 200,000.